Struggling to know the difference between anxiety and intuition? Let's talk about it. Hey, it's Ashlyn, your local witchy bestie. Real quick, I am a mom, I have dogs, I have a life outside of TikTok. Bear with me, okay? But let's dive into this because as an anxiety-riddled human being, this is something that I myself had to learn and struggled with, and I want to pass on what I learned. So let's kind of start with what exactly anxiety is. Anxiety is a thought that pops into your brain, that's important, and progresses into an endless loop, one thing after another, like a spiral. It just keeps going and going and going. It gives us things like sweaty palms, nervousness. It's usually about fears of the past and present, so like what if questions, and they just kind of, they're thoughts that fester and linger and just kind of are icky and overwhelmed. Now, intuition is different. Intuition is a feeling or thought that just pops up, not usually in your brain. It usually originates somewhere in your body. Gut feelings, intuition. It's like something that just pops up, like a warning or a thought, and it's calm. It doesn't trigger a very big emotional response because it's an answer. It's not a probability, it's known. Does that make sense? So intuition originates in the body usually, and anxiety starts in the head. Anxiety is an emotional response and kind of leads to other emotional responses, sometimes triggers trauma, what ifs, lingers, festers. Intuition doesn't. It's something that is solid, that is known, that is a gut feeling, that just kind of pops up from your higher self. It does not linger. It's like intuition just pops something, makes something known to you that like comes out of nowhere, no rhyme or reason, right? But you don't question it. It feels right. It feels confirming. It feels like an answer. And so intuition, you have a calmer body response to than anxiety. So a quicker way to kind of wrap this up is that anxiety is in your head and produces fear response. What if questions. Intuition usually comes from elsewhere on your body, does not trigger a loop of thoughts, and feels like you can trust it, feels solid, doesn't trigger huge emotional responses. It just seems like you know the answer to something that you've been seeking. So the next time you get a thought and you're not sure if it's anxiety or intuition, sit with it. Ground, however way that you normally ground, sitting on the ground, touching the grass, putting your feet in some sand, I don't know. There's numerous ways you can ground. Ground and sit with it for a while. Think about where you felt it, what it is, and what it brought up, and then turn to divination. Do not divinate right away, because what we have a tendency to do is divinate looking for confirmation rather than clarity. But if you ground first and think about it, you will have that clarity first before you approach any divination tool, and you will have an easier time obtaining answers that way. Real quick, I also want to add something here because this is something I struggled with. People with anxiety, like me, who are just riddled with it, see ourselves as flawed, see ourselves as mentally ill, as incapable. It's actually a superpower. Here's why I say that. Anxiety makes us very highly attuned to the world around us. We perceive things that others don't. We catch details, energy shifts, personality changes. It's really easy for us to pick those up. That in itself is almost a raw, primal version of intuition. All we have to really know how to do is to calm it and control it in order for it to be more of another tool to use with our intuition. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I encourage everyone to do, is learn to manage it. Learn to come from the mindset that while we cannot control everything around us, we can control ourselves. Narrow down your field that you feel responsible for, and it will slowly start to be more manageable that way. But anxiety is a superpower. Don't hate it. Just learn to control it, and it will be more of a tool for your craft, for working with your intuition. So yeah, how does that feel? Anxiety is a superpower. What do you think?